Okay. Hello, everyone. It is that time again, and here we are on Monday night, and we're just about ready to start our Monday Night Live drawing. And tonight we're going to be looking at this, this fishing village that I found, and I thought it had some really great volumes and shapes that we really can stretch ourselves on. But nonetheless, I'm glad everyone's here. My name is Kurt, and I'm a dad who draws, and I just want to welcome you to our Monday Night Live. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get started here. Feel free to put a question in the chat if you have it, and I will do my best to answer those as we go along. But yeah, okay, let's get going here. So whenever let's talk about a couple things before we jump into this. Let's review this idea of cubes, because I think that is always very important. So we're going to use basically a cube to draw this this house here. But before I do, I want to show you something here. Whenever I see a building in any of the drawings that I'm about to draw, I like to look for a couple things. I like to try and determine whether I'm looking down at it or I'm looking up at it. So here's the difference. If I'm looking down at something, all right, we could make our traditional square like this. Okay. Connect these right here. If I'm looking down at something, I'm going to see the top of it, just like that. If I'm looking up at something, it's going to be something like this. See? There, that square we're looking up at. And if our eye line here, let me just adjust those slightly so you could have a better idea what I mean by this. Okay, let's put that one there. All right, so there you go. So this cube that is, let's call this A, and this will be B. So cube A, I'm looking up at, and cube B, I'm looking down at. You see that? So now let's just say, what if we were looking straight at a cube? What would that look like? And let me switch over to this. So this time we're going to start with a straight. There it is right there. So A we're looking up at, B we're looking down at, and C is right at our eye line. Our eye line is going to be right about there. So these basic cubes is something you really want to practice and get down on. So there's no question that you could draw these. The quicker you can draw a real good cube or this type of form, the better you'll get, much faster. Okay? All right. So let's take a look at, while we're looking at this, let's take a look at this house. Because most buildings, we can establish them by a cube at first. So first thing I want to determine whether I'm looking up at it, straight at it, or down at it. And the way to do that simply is to put a point at the areas where it is going to be square. And so in this case, this point right here is higher. We'll call that A, and this will be B. We call that A is higher than B, and we'll put C down here. So in these diagrams over here, you could see that A, B, and then C. You see that? So our eye line is slightly below this building here. So we definitely want to think about that as we start to sketch our drawing out. All right. Oops, I put those on the wrong layer there. Oop, let's just erase them there. Okay. All right, excellent. So let's go ahead and get started with this fishing village. Now that we know that we are looking up at that house there. So a lot of times in my drawings, I'm going to start off with a border. What this does, it really helps me to figure out my proportion and where everything is going to go. Oh. Let's see what went on here. What happened? We may have lost all that. So, okay. So when I start drawing, I want to start off with a border. And then from here, this is going to help me. This is going to help me start to. It's a way that I can measure proportion. Okay, so in this instant here, let's go ahead and start working through this just a little bit. I'm going to start off, I can start off with my proportion by drawing the horizon line. Horizon line is right here. Let me just get this to be up there. Yep, this is going to be my horizon line. Okay. And that's going to come down a little bit just above the page there. And I'm going to come in here lightly like this. And then I'm going to start judging some distances. For example, when I am trying to determine proportion on the page, I'm looking for shapes that will help to build my picture here. Okay, so for example, the bigger shapes I could see are going to be something like this. And then I'm going to draw right through the boats. I'm going to see something like this. And then I'm going to see something like this and something like that. Those key shapes are going to help me to figure out where I'm going to put everything. So let's use those. And when I draw those, I don't really draw on the picture, but I'm thinking of these shapes. So I'm just going to come in very lightly here. Okay. Then I'm going to come in here as well, very lightly. I'm going to trust what I see here, not what I think. All right, there's going to be my horizon line, and this, right at that point there, it's going to be somewhere like right about there. I'm drawing lightly, that way I can make adjustments as I go along. Okay, so those are my basic shapes. Now let's quickly, I'm going to quickly just kind of gesture in a place where I think a boat might go there. I'm going to gesture in this boat over here as well. And he comes all the way. I'm trusting with this point. The point of the bow goes there, and the back goes right there. All right, and this, look how close. Look at this relationship. The back of this boat is right there, and the bow of that one, they're very close to each other. So if he's right about there, all right. So I'm still not thinking of anything in volumes yet. I'm just trying to put some pieces in place to help me get my proportion correct. One of the things to measure that, of course, is looking at negative space. So look at this negative space. You see that right there? All right. Let's see if we've got that shape. All right, it comes there. It goes there. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. That proportion looks good. Okay. Boat's coming back here, maybe a little bit shorter there. Excellent. Now let's drop this house in here. And the house is kind of slightly above. I know this is going to be slightly above the horizon line. I'm looking up at it, so this is going to be slightly raised, and then it's going to sharp down, and that's going to be the back end of it right over there. All right, let's find the center here. Let's find the center. So in order to find the center of any square, you want to just put an X in the square, and that's going to be the center. So let's do that over here. All right, there's my center of that square. Line's going to come up. And what I'm doing is I'm trying to determine how high this is going to be right there. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. And then I know that the roof, this other roof is going to come like this. And now this one I'm just kind of guessing. I know that that has to go to the same vanishing point there. Okay, let's go ahead then and find the center of this house here. And you can see I've kind of lightly gestured in the side of it. Find this X right here. Hold on really quick here. I could hear my son upstairs. Let me just text him to try and keep it down. Let's see. I am all right, let's continue on here. All right, so we got our little doorway here. Let's go ahead and drop in a little window on the right side here. And we'll drop in another window over here. Okay. And let's go ahead and, hey, look at that, Z. Yeah, Z's in the house. Okay. So Z, I was just talking about finding measurement and using negative shape to get everything set up in proportion wise. So I'm going to continue here. So down here, let's look at our boat here. So now that we've established the top of the boat, let's go ahead and just get the inside shell of the boat here. And if I'm looking at this right here, look, this is where the this is what I see right here. You see that? Okay, let's bring that around here. Great. And then I'm going to bring the sides down here. And then I'm going to, that's the out part outside of my boat. Now I'm going to, this is the direction we want to use. Okay. And then we're gonna have another bench right here. This poor boat looks like it has not been used in years. Drawing boats reminds me of an old joke. They say you should make sure you're have a friend who has a pool, and make sure your dad has a boat. Because nobody wants to own a pool, and definitely you don't want to be responsible for a boat. So make sure your dad owns a boat and your friend has a pool. How about that? All right, let's work on this other one here. Okay, I'm going to come around here. All right, let's go ahead and get the top part over here as well. Just drawing lightly. Okay. We've got a nice buoy in here, so let's put him in. I like that. And there's some flotation devices here that have some nice form. So, and they're squares, so we can just kind of put one there. And it looks like these floats are what are keeping this boat up from rotting out on the ground, huh? All right, let's get this guy in over here now. I'm going to draw the bottom part of it first. Okay. Then I'm going to get the top part. All right. Great. All right, let's see what's next here. Oh, we got a buoy in the boat here. And then we have a small one over there. Now the edge of this mountain, I could see hill kind of comes down here, and then it kind of zigzags because we have some people walking. People are walking in this space here. See that? And they're small. All right, got some fencing. Okay. Here's my mountainside. I'm going to work that in just a little bit there. And I got my horizon line. So all I'm doing right now is just kind of slowly working my way up the drawing here. Getting all my pieces in place before I go back into it with some nice detail. We've got a little chimney stack going up here. And another little chimney. And then we have, I think these are called dormers. So let's draw that. Let's draw this dormer here. In fact, let me just erase this for a second. And okay, so let me do a new layer here. And let's talk about dormers. So let's just say we have our roof line here. There's our roof line. So the first thing we want to do is draw the bottom part of it. All right, and it's going to have it's going to come up here like this. Just like that. That's the bottom part. And then let's draw the front facing, and really all we're doing is something like this. And then this is going to go back. Find the center. And that's how we do it. We just use the information that we have in front of us to tell the story. Let's erase some of that. Oh, this one's gone. Okay, here we go. All right, let's get this dormer in. And it's going to be small. And a lot of times when things are small, we don't have to have as much detail on them. We just have to give a hint. Just give enough information that people know what it is that we're talking about here. Okay. All right, let me go ahead and I'm going to start back here at the bottom, and I'm going to erase some of these lines here that I've drawn. Okay. So looks like let's get some tone here. I'm going to start to squint my eyes a little bit so I can get a sense of where my lights and darks are. Shadow's going to drop right down underneath those planks there. And then the shadow's going to also be at the below them a little bit. Okay. Pushing a little bit harder now on my pushing a little bit harder here. It looks like there's another boat coming in on this angle over here. So we'll just drop a shape in here. And then we have some great twigs that are coming up here. So I'm just going to add some foliage down here. Weeds, huh? I'm going to come back before we're done here and give it another pass of color. But here we have some leaves over here. You know, it's interesting as we draw some of this foliage. A lot of times, because it's not the main object, we don't give it a lot of attention, but that can actually come back and bite us. Okay. There's these little rusty red things that look kind of interesting. These particular weeds that are growing here. I kind of like them. Okay. The hull of this boat definitely is darker green. So that's going to have some tone to it. All right, there's our ball. Let's almost shade this as if it was a cylinder, a sphere. And we're going to do that core shadow. This will help to read that it's actually round. And then we have another one up here, so let's kind of do that as well. All right, like I said before, I'm gonna come back on my last pass and get some more shadows, values down here. Okay, so let's take a look at this. We got this other boat in place. Great. There's some shadow underneath him as well. And now I'm just going to do this mountainside, but what I'm going to use is really surface lines to tell the story that it's coming down. All right. Just taking time, getting the right surface lines to really help us know that this is a hillside. And it has a yellow boat. Look at that, way over here. And that's turned over as well. We have this asphalt here, and this is going to be flat. I'm going to add some texture of some stones here, and the mountain is in the background there. Okay. Little pieces at a time as I keep making my way up the drawing. Okay, I'm going to squint my eyes, and definitely this whole house is going to be much darker than that hillside, a little bit. And the front end is darker than the side here, so I definitely want to give that a different tone, different value. There's my door entrance, and I'm leaving just a little bit of edge there on the side there where it's white. Same thing on these windows, just a little bit, just to indicate their windows. Add some surface lines so that we know that this is slanted. Just going through, once you get all your basic shapes down, then it turns into simply just adding texture. It's like almost painting, but with pencil. So we got a guy walking here, and someone's over there. We got a lamp coming up here. Going back to squinting a little bit. I can make out that this is like a stone area over here. Z, are you doing okay tonight? I'm going to darken in over here a little bit. And then I'm going to add some. Now this isn't in the picture, but I really want to show this mountainside, and when I come back in one more time with tone, we will really be able to see that quite well. All right. I'm going to add some clouds back here. And then, of course, our water, I'm going to just give it a quick tone going across. And what is, okay, so as I look at this, the house is darker tone than the water. So I definitely want to kick that back a value. It also has these little the stones in it, so I bet you if I just put a couple indications here and there, we could get it to read that this is stone. And the only thing I don't like what I've done is I'm going to just erase these lines there. Okay, that looks better. And this is going to have a little bit of tone, right? Just like that, okay? Add some variation in the hillside here. Okay. I'm pretty happy with where I'm at right now in this. I think I'm going to now bring in a new layer and get some broader range of tone on this. How about that? Let's be exciting and go with this. Try this artist crayon. I don't know what this is going to look like, but we'll give it a go, huh? So I'm squinting right now, and immediately this white boat in the middle right is coming out. So let's just add some. Let's just add some tone to this mountain here, especially around this boat. In order to create white, sometimes this works a lot with watercolor, which I enjoy using. If you darken the area around it, you could really start to get it to read nicely. You could get the whites to pop out. So let's see here. I'm still going to add tone in the direction of the mountain. That's going to help to establish the volume there. Okay. And also I can see that there's the clouds up on top here have some tone, and as they get closer to the horizon line they get lighter. We call that atmospheric perspective. Things that are closer to us typically are going to have darker values than those that are much further away, and there's a reason for that, and I could show that to you. So let's say let's get a new layer here. Okay, let's say you're standing right here. This is you're standing right here, and you're looking in this direction, And way over here, let's just say you see a building. All right, so we'll draw a little building here. There's our building. And then right here, let's just say you see another building. Okay. Well, between you, what you see, and this far building, there's atmosphere. And there's going to be water droplets floating in the sky, just like in this one here. So every object that's further away has to be seen through all of this atmosphere or water droplets. Ultimately, what that means is the further away it gets, the less contrast. It kind of is like putting, it's like if you had a drawing, and you started putting layers and layers and layers of tracing paper on top, that drawing underneath would get very faint. See, you're looking through all of those sheets of tracing paper. Well, it's no difference. This is atmospheric perspective. The lighter something is, usually that means it's further off in the distance. So this guy right here is going to be really contrasty as opposed to this guy here. All right. So these clouds up here, let me show you. These clouds up here are closer to us than those way back down there. And whenever you're drawing landscapes, this is something you want to definitely be aware of. What layer was that? Okay, there we go. Let's erase that. We covered that. All right, good. And let me go back in and add some more tone here now, huh? We're using this artist crayon. Okay, so let's come in here. I'm going to add some tone down here. This gets pretty dark. Good, you're good. Excellent. I'm going to add some tone on top of these guys. All right, shadow over here. This bench is a little dirty there, but that's okay. All right. Shadow underneath this guy here. Squint my eyes, and yeah, definitely this mountain has a lot of dark value on it. Let's get some dark value over here. What about in our bow? Yes, most definitely we have some. Look at the contrast. Let's make sure that we get contrast between those buoys there, huh? And then this has some tone as well down here. Tone on top. Okay. Okay, we got that. Some tone right there. And I'm going to switch back to my 6B pencil so I can start to get a little bit more detail going on over here. I've got these gunnels, I think they're called. You know, a lot of times when we are painting or drawing, all we're doing really is just like comparing values. What's this value? What's this value compared to that value? All right. This has some ground, so I'm going to just add some surface lines and some little dots. Surface lines to give that some volume there. Add some little grasses here. Add some grasses back in here as well. Okay. This is interesting. Look what I've done right here. This helps to create depth. I'm going to draw a line there and then draw a line back here like this. You see that? That's a Y. So essentially, there's the hill in front, and there's the hill behind. You see that? I've done it right here. Let's come down here and do that again. Let's come here and then cause this back guy to come behind that. You see that? Okay, what about this? Does this have any shadow? It does. Has some shadow underneath there. All right, they're walking up. Good. Just adding some little details here. There's this fence. And some steps. Let's see if we can... I'm just going to indicate the steps with some lines. Good. And I'm going to come back in here in the ocean. Definitely try and do some separation of the land there so we know what's going on. Okay. I'm going to erase this in my... I don't know which layer that's on, but we'll find it, huh? Nope. There it is. Okay, well, I think I am, I think I've done it. What time is it? 7:42, not too bad. Hopefully I didn't go too fast for you. But what's great about these videos is they are always, you could always rewind them. Watch them a second time. Any questions at all? Add some more surface. I'm going to add some surface lines to the inside of this boat to indicate the far side there. All right, and there's our fishing village. Okay. Well, I think that kind of this one was hard. Oh, Z, I'm sorry to hear that. What part was difficult for you? Was there one? Let's see. Too many things. Okay, true. How about that rowboat? The one rowboat that's nearest to us. Were you able to get that down? If not, I could redraw that quickly for you. You want me to draw that rowboat again? I'll give you a second to answer. Or would you like to review the house behind the hill? I mean, that could be a great, just if we just cropped into, you know, that right there is a, that right there could be a nice, the boat? No. Okay, you're okay on the boat. See, that right there is a nice picture as well. There were a lot of things. Please, the boat, please. Do the boat again? All right, let's do the boat again. Okay, we'll do the boat again. So let's turn all this off here. We'll turn on our picture. Okay. Let's just look at the boat. Okay. If you get the boat down, that would be a great accomplishment tonight, okay? All right, here we go. Let's start with the boat. Because I kind of hit the boat early before you were here. Okay, so first thing I'm looking at the boat is I'm looking for these sides. These sides of the boat are very hard to get because they are very, very different. So I don't want to start there. Ooh. Instead, I'm going to start with the back of the boat because it's square. So let's just put a mark in here. That's going to be my back of my boat, and I'm just going to put like 2 dots here to mine is crooked. All right, let's just work on this boat here. I'm going to get these 2 dots here so I know where those corners are. So let's draw, let's see, let's come up here. Where am I? Right there. All right. So what I've done is I've established this and I've established this. Okay. Next thing I want to establish is this right there. Where is that point? So I'm going to use, like, one of the forms of measurements is using vertical and horizontal lines. So, okay, so we got that. There's a vertical. There's another vertical. And there's another vertical. And so what I need to do is judge the distance between here. Now, all of these lines that I'm drawing on our picture, I'm doing this in my head. So I could kind of estimate that it's almost, look at that, it's almost thirds. Okay, so on my boat, I've established this right here as my measuring point. So I'm going to go a third. So I'm like kind of like this. There's a third and then a third. Okay, great. So I've kind of got the distance here. There's a corner, there's a corner. All right, so we got the distance. Now, let's do it the other way. All right, so we're going to do this way. Okay, those are pretty close. And so now we know, like, wow, that distance is really, really low. So I'm going to look at this and just guesstimate. I'm going to put mine right about there. That's where I'm going with mine, right there. Okay, excellent. Let's go ahead and then connect just the one, this one over here. So we don't want to do a straight line. We're just going to come back like this. See that? That's what we're going to do there. And then this other side almost goes like horizontal back. See that? And then curves around. And there is our opening, the top part of our boat. Okay, I'm going to keep going here. All right, now I know the back end. Let's just get what we know for sure. The back end is coming in like this. We can't see that side, but that's okay. But we do know that this is going to be somewhat parallel right there. Now I'm going to look at my picture, and here's the bow of my boat, and look at this. Look how far that edge comes. Okay. So I'm going to come almost right about here, and this is just going to curve around like this. Now I know the bow is going to come in, and if I'm going too fast, just tell me to stop and I'll slow down here. And I know the back end is going to be slightly angled like this. Now, as I'm looking at the picture, I can also see this. I can see this has the number 21 right down here. So that's a pretty thick business right there. So let's make sure that we are making our boat deep enough here. All right, here we go. I'm going to come around. There's the shape. There's the rough shape. It's so Sutter. I can't read what you said there. It's better. It's better. Okay, I think that's what you're saying. It looks better. Good. Good. Then that way we know we're learning something. Okay. Let's get that back. Now let's get that little back bench in. We're going to do it a little bit smaller. So I'm just kind of going around the angle here. If you walk away tonight drawing this boat and making it look half decent, then it's totally worth the night. All right, so this is gonna this edge is, we're just gonna draw something lightly here. That's gonna give us the other place of our other bench here. Let's bring that in here. Again, these lines are all going to be parallel with those back there. And let's put one more in. And as you can see now, my drawing is slightly different than the picture, but that's okay. It doesn't have to be exact. All right. Let's work on this shadow here, the shadow underneath the benches. It's going to be straight along the side there. Same thing here. It's going to be straight along the side. Straight along the side. And then using surface lines, it's going to go across the bottom part of the boat. Now we can get this last, this is the part where I believe the engine would sit. I don't know what that officially is called. Now I'm going to squint my eyes and I can see that the top of this edge here is going to have a little bit more tone than the side. And of course, the bottom of the boat is going to be a little bit more darker in tone than the benches and the side of the boat. The inside part there. And then this outside here, look at how I'm using my shadow to kind of follow the surface. This will help really read that the boat is has some surface there. Okay, I'm squinting my eyes now, and boy, this underside is really dark. So I'm going to come back in here and drop some more tone here. A little bit at a time, just slowly working it up. More tone over here. Wow. I hope that wow is for your boat. That's why I hope you're saying that about how awesome your boat it looks. Okay, excellent. And let's go ahead and add, I'm going to look closely here now. Okay, so we still have some more tone down here on the inside. A little more tone there. And let's go ahead and I'm going to add some, because this is in the weeds, I'm going to add some weeds here. One thing that you may not be able to see what I'm doing is a lot of times when I'm using a pencil or even using the digital pencil here, whenever I make a stroke, I push down and I pull up. I push down, I pull up. And so it will, it kind of ends up looking like this. And as I push down, I pull up, push down, and it gives a really nice slight, it looks decent now. Good, excellent. It ends up looking a lot like grass. It's just a great way to make a mark on a page. So I'm going to add some things here. And I'm going to add this buoy maybe back here. Add some weeds back here. And I might even add, I know it's not on this boat, but sometimes they have like a little plank of wood right there. And I'm going to drape a string. And then on the ground, I'm going to add some stones here. Surface lines to really get a sense that this is sitting on some dirt or gravel. Okay. Adding more weeds back here. Adding that. Just some extra little details here. All right. Well, I think that about does it. Good. And yours is looking decent. I'm happy to hear that. So if you don't mind posting that, Z, in the Facebook group, so maybe I could see it and I could take a look and see how you did. But I hope that was helpful to you. And I thank everyone else who will be watching the recording of this, and I hope you get a lot out of it. Anyhow, so again, my name is Kurt. I am the dad who draws. And as we come to a close here on Monday night, tomorrow being the 22nd is the last day you can vote and try and guess when we will have 1,000 members in our Facebook group. You could even go back and change your vote. You could find that post in our announcements section on the Facebook page. Okay? Well, that's about it. And I thank you for watching. And we will see you tomorrow. All right. Have a good night, everyone. And Z, thanks for checking in. All right. Good night, everyone. Bye-bye.